All right, guys, what's going on? Haven't done a lot in about a few days, so yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys about this breaking news I just saw. So, Sports Illustrated had just came out with this story. So, ESPN names official replacement for Molly Curran on First Take, and that, guys, my friends, and that is Shae Cornette. But here we go. Molly Curran's sudden departure from ESPN First Take last month left the network scrambling to find a replacement. Since Karam left in mid-September, ESPN has been holding trials for the host of First Take, with multiple new and familiar faces rotating in next to Stephen A. Smith and his crew of personalities. Excuse me, excuse me. It's a big decision given that it's ESPN's most popular studio show and most talked about debate show in sports media. On Thursday, the network made the call and named Kara's replacement Shae Cornette. ESPN confirmed to Ryan Gillespie and Mike McCarthy of Front Office Sports that Cornette would be the host of First Take alongside Smith. Per ESPN's website, Cornette is currently a host of various network studio shows, including SportsCenter. She joined ESPN in 2020 after building a profile in Chicago covering the Bears for Fox 31 and co-hosted Cap and Company and ESPN 1000. This will be her most visible role yet at the network. Curran has not yet revealed where she plans to take her career over 10 years beyond the First Take desk. Most recently, she hosted a Q&A with UConn coach Dan Hurley to promote his new book. And it's officially a new era of First Take. ESPN Shae Cornette released statements on the First Take job, and she basically said on Thursday she released a statement announcing Cornette as the new host of First Take, revealed on her first official day will be on November the 3rd. Cornette has been a long-standing anchor of ESPN SportsCenter and the mainstay across ESPN studio programming since joining ESPN in 2020. The statement read, "She is known for dynamic presence, exclusive knowledge, and confident command of conversation, and making her a respected and recognizable voice across television, radio, and streaming." Additionally, Cornette gave her own thoughts and the announcement on her new job. "I'm ready to step into this role and know that I can add to the already successful brand First Take is," Cornette said. "From my days in the radio hosting SportsCenter and now First Take, my journey at ESPN has been one of growth, challenge, and an opportunity. First Take's energy, perspective, and passion represents everything that I love about sports, and I am excited to bring more of that to the debate desk every weekday morning." And what to know about Molly Curran's ESPN departure. Curran left ESPN in a very sudden fashion halfway through September. It appeared to be set off by a report from the Sports Business Journal that Curran and ESPN would be parting ways at the end of 2025. However, shortly after the story broke, Curran announced that she was leaving the network with an emotional message. Decision abruptly seemed to catch her colleagues by surprise. Smith described the situation as an abrupt resignation. Chris "Bad Dog" Russo gave his theory on the recurring guest on First Take while appearing on Sports Illustrated Media podcast with Jimmy Trania, stating that he thought Karen was embarrassed by the early leak of her plans to leave and didn't want the media to think that she was a lame duck for the rest of the year. Russo said the decision shocked him as well. All right, that's pretty much what I got from the article here. Now, pretty much my thoughts, co-sentiment. Yes, I heard of Shae Cornette being named as the main, going to be the main moderator and host of ESPN First Take. I've read her profile. She covered Chicago Bears football team, and she was mainly the co-host of Fox 32. She is a really solid football. She was a solid football analyst at that time. a decent co-host. She knew what she was talking about when her sports, and she didn't have no kind of bias, no confirmation of bias, and she didn't really have no kind of like picking sides or picking favorites. She called it straight down the middle, and that's what you need at ESPN. You need a moderator who like lets the actual main host and co-host panelists on the show like let them speak whenever they and whenever the moderator comes and try to make up the program of what they did. I just feel like she does it the best, and she doesn't have like a rudeness to her demeanor. It felt like to me that she fits the show, is naturally organic. And although ESPN as a product is pretty much ESPN as a whole network, and First Take is pretty much dying off, it doesn't feel like that they're having a way of evolving and adapting. But now, since this news program is happening, and because of what happened with Max Kellerman, they're just bringing in a slew of hosts, slew of co-panelists, and a slew of like reporters and journalists, and also former athletes on the show to kind of balance it out with Stephen A. I feel like this is kind of not only a new era of First Take. I feel this is a new era of just people having their own viewpoints and perspective on sports take. So I feel like with Shae Cornette being there, I think she will provide an equal balance. I feel like she will provide some sort of intel and intake on the sports platform, and it didn't have to have no explicit nor implicit biases, no confirmational bias or anything like that. She has a way of viewing and calling it everything straight down the middle because of the fact that she has a background in sports. She has a background in Fox 32. She also has a main background in hosting Sports Center, ESPN Sports Center around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So she actually covers and does the highlight reels, does all the top 10 plays for that particular week. Feel like she does that very well. So I can't wait to see what she brings to the table to help out with what Stephen A is going on. And this is gonna be something that's a very big change. So tell me what you guys think down in the chat room, down in the comment section about this whole news. And are you guys excited for what's being offered with Shae Cornette being the main host and moderator on First Take, and her first day being November the 3rd? And also, where do you think Molly Curran will go after being behind the First Tech desk for 10 years? Like, where platforms, where do you see Molly Curran going at the end of the day, and by the end of the year, where do you see her going? Let me know down in the comment section, and let me know even in the chat room as well. So, yeah. And then also, do you how do you guys will think Shae Cornette will fare with Stephen A, Chris Mad Dog Russo, Jeff Saturday, Chris Canty, and the rest of the NFL and the rest of the sports analysts and the rest of the sports commentators? Do you think she'll fare well? Do you not think she'll fare well? Tell me why down in the chat room as well. I wanted the guys to know your thoughts about this whole thing and this announcement and everything. And let me get your thoughts. And have you guys seen Shae Cornette covering the Bears for Fox 32 and co-hosted Cap and Company on ESPN 1000? If you have, do you think that ESPN made the right choice? Tell me down below, as I will be doing more inside coverage about this. I probably will find more information about Molly Curran and how much she was asking and requesting for, and ESPN wouldn't give her the money and everything that she wanted, that she requested, and the guaranteed salary, and because she saw what Stephen A's salary was. So tell me what you guys think about that in the comment section down there. I will be doing more about this in the upcoming days, so be on the lookout for it. Now let's talk about the NFL games, the NFL preview. Let's talk about the NFL preview and the standings. So the predictions for week 7. So that's also what we came here to talk about. All right. So, and today being Thursday, let's start with Thursday's game between the Steelers and the Bengals. Now, Pittsburgh coming off a big gut-wrenching win over the Cleveland Browns. They moved to 4-1, while Cincinnati has fallen off immensely after having a really solid start to the season at 2-0. They've lost 4 out of their last 6 games, and headed into week 7 on Thursday night in Cincinnati, this is going to be a huge problem for them because, number one, they don't half the time run the ball whatsoever. Their defense is suspect all over, and they can't get off the field. They're one of the worst teams in third down defense. They're not that good at all, and they're facing against a team in the Steelers who don't really put up a whole lot of points, but they put up points. They put up enough points in order for them to win the game and keep the games interesting. It just all depends on who makes the mistake last, and I feel like it's gonna be the Bengals. So I'm gonna take the Steelers in this game. I like their defense. The addition of what happened with Jalen Ramsey and Darius Slay to go along with Alex Highsmith, Cam Hayward, and T.J. Watt. It's going to be too much for them. I got the Steelers in this one. I think it's going to be closer in this game. I can see in the close 20s. I like a 28. I can see a 28-24 kind of game. But I'm going to go with the Steelers in this one. I can see them moving on and going to 5-1, and the Bengals falling to 2-5. The LA Rams, and the Jacksonville Jaguars both are 4-2. The Rams had a hard time against, pretty much in a lot of regards, one of the worst defenses in the NFL in the Baltimore Ravens. They faced up against the Jags team who has been so inconsistent. I don't know what we're gonna get out of them. So in this one, I'm going with the LA Rams. I trust the LA Rams defense a little bit more. Their corners, I think they'll be able to slow down Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter. I believe that they're going to get some turnovers to get after Trevor Lawrence a bit and rattle him a bit. I think the Rams are playing with some passion at this point, and I think because of that being so close again in Baltimore, M&T Bank, I don't think they're going to have a game like that of emotional letdown. I'm going to go with the Rams in this one. I think they're going to be riding high. And Jacksonville, although this is their 14th game being in London, I think the Rams are hotly contested, and they're definitely going to come with some fire, some passion. And Kyron Williams, if he hadn't turned the ball over against the 49ers, they probably would have won that game too. And we'll be talking a different story. So I got the Rams in this one. I can see 23-20. I can see that score happening. Eagles and Vikings. Philadelphia Eagles have lost 2 straight games, depleted with injuries on the offensive line. Minnesota Vikings are still without J.J. McCarthy. And the Philadelphia Eagles have probably one of the worst Thursday night game performances I've seen all year. Defensively, they look atrocious. They're not running the ball with Saquon Barkley. They got to get him going at some point. You can't have 12 carries for 58 yards and expect to win ball games. That's just not going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen this week. I got the Minnesota Vikings in an upset, so I'm going to go with the Vikings in this one. The New England Patriots at the Tennessee Titans. I'm going with the New England Patriots. This is pretty easy. The Patriots have probably one of the most underrated defenses in the NFL, and Drake May is absolutely balling. And they have a well-balanced attack. People are saying that they're going to need to go trade for a receiver. They need to go trade for a couple of draft picks for a receiver. They don't need to do that. They're like, let's go trade for a big play tight end. They don't need to do that. You got Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper. They don't need to trade for nothing. They got a good team. They got a good lineup. You got a good coach in Mike Vrabel. I think the Patriots going to blow them out. Now, this is probably going to be one of the more anticipated, highly contested games between the Colts and the LA Chargers. The Colts are 5-1, while the Chargers are 4-2. The Chargers with a late game win down in the fourth quarter kept the game interesting. The Dolphins try to keep the game interesting, and that's a concern for me. If you're the Chargers, you are getting and winning these close games against below 500 teams, below sub 500 teams. That's not a good sign. And if you're the Colts, 5-1, of course, people are going to talk about they barely won up against Arizona. Their offense is still scoring over 30 points per game. Jonathan Taylor's the best back in the league, and there's nothing left to be said on that. So I'm going to go with the Colts. I think it's going to be very close. I can see this being a 31-27 game. And also, Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, and Tyler Warren, they spread the ball out. The Chargers going to have to cover a lot of the field. It's going to be tough to cover. And, of course, you got to watch out for Daniel Jones' legs. So that's going to be tough for them. For the Colts defense, you got to get guys healthy. Your secondary's pretty much been banged up all year. So, yeah, you got to get guys coming back healthy. That's the only thing that was a concern for me if you're the Colts, if you're Colts fans. Giants and the Broncos. I'm going with the Broncos in this one. The Giants pretty much coming off of a absolute tremendous performance on Thursday. On a short week, going on the road in Mile High, Colorado. That's not a great sign, especially for a rookie quarterback in Jackson Dart. And that defense in Denver had 7 sacks on the Jets and Justin Fields. Their defense had 5 in the last previous game when they faced up against Jake Browning and that Cincinnati Bengals team. So it's going to be a team where it's going to be a tough outing for them. I think the Broncos are pretty much going to get them. It may be a lot closer than what people think. I don't think it's going to be a shootout, but at the same time, I think it's going to be a little bit closer than what people think. I can see it being a 2017 kind of game, but I'm going to go with the Broncos in that one. The Packers, Green Bay Packers going on the road in Arizona against the Cardinals. I'm going with the Packers. I think this is pretty simple. The Cardinals have been choking all season. They've been choking in games so far. And to me, I feel like the Packers, they found something. They found an edge, competitive edge, balanced attack with Elijah Wilson and Josh Jacobs. Matthew Golden got a huge, big sighting going. Christian Watson, hopefully when he does come back. But you would expect Micah Parsons to come in and really devolve and salvage the offense, and he hasn't done that. So I'm going to roll with the Packers in this one. I see it 31-17 kind of game. Commanders and the Cowboys. I'm going with the Commanders. I don't feel as confident. Oh, hey, Josh Lynn Perez. Hey, what's going on? But yeah, I'm going with the Commanders in this one. I feel as if the Cowboys defense is dead last in every statistical category: total yards, total pass yards defensively, rush yards defensively. They allowed the most rush yards, the most passing yards, most points, the second most points per game defensively. They are trouble in a lot of games. Oh no, I'm talking about the NFL previews. Josh Lynn Perez. I'm previewing the games. And yeah, I think the Commanders will beat the Cowboys. I think they'll find a way to get the ball on the last possession, and I feel like that they're having a tough out. They're gonna have a tough outing. If you're the Cowboys, and they give up a lot of big plays. These two teams give up the most big plays in their secondary in the entire league. So this game will be getting loose. I can see this being a 38-35 game. it's gonna be up and down, back and forth. I can see that right then and there. I think it's gonna come down whoever gets the ball last, who has the last possession. I can see that winning, and I believe the Commanders will have it. Jaden Daniels will pull through. I think they'll be able to win it and put it together. So that's how I see it. Sunday night, the Falcons and 49ers. Um, I got this young Atlanta Falcons team going into Santa Clara, and I got them upsetting the 49ers. I feel like the 49ers are decimated, depleted with injuries, and I feel like that's gonna hurt them a lot more than what is being looking at it a blanketed eye. And I feel like that's gonna bode well for the Atlanta Falcons. So I got them winning it. The Buccaneers and Lions. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers moving #1 in the power rankings. They're 5-1. The Lions fall to the Kansas City Chiefs, so they're down to 4-2. Two of the top teams are decimated with injuries. The Buccaneers are decimated the receiving core and the offensive line, and a couple of secondary guys, whereas the Lions are decimated all on defense, but are gonna get a Lee McNeil back from what I just saw and what I just read. So yeah, that's gonna help them out a lot better in the run defense and in the pass rush. They can actually get at the opposing quarterback. So I think that can help them out pretty good. We'll see what Baker Mayfield can do. I still think they'll be able to drive the ball, put points up on the board. But I think the Buccaneers will cover the number because the number was 5.5 spread. I think they'll cover that number, but I think the Lions will win the game. But it's gonna be pretty close. I can see this being a 30-26 kind of game, 30-26 kind of game. And last is the Houston Texans and the Seattle Seahawks. Going with the Seattle Seahawks. Hopefully with the return of Julian Love, Devin Witherspoon, and DeMarcus Lawrence, I think that's going to be able to help them out pretty good. They're going to get after C.J. Stroud. I think Seattle will be one of these teams that'll mess around and might end up winning their division. So yeah, those are my thoughts about those Sunday games. I know it went pretty quick, pretty smooth, but yeah, I got some other videos to make. So I want to thank you guys for hearing me out and hearing the news. I am out. Peace.